The time you kidnap Biafrans and enforce their disappearance is over. And of course, Biafrans that are going to be victims of this kidnapping by the Nigeria state, all you need to do is to lie on the floor of whichever or whatever vehicles that they are using to transport you. We may not be able to rescue everyone, but if you happen to be a victim of the Nigeria kidnapping terrorist group and those enforcing the disappearances of our people, if you are part or become a victim of this kidnapping, all you need to do not struggle with them. You do not have what it takes to defend yourself. All you need to do is, when they take you to their vehicle, make sure you lie down very well, because you don't know when the people that will rescue you will come. The only reason you are going to be succeeded in kidnapping, or they succeed in kidnapping you, is that we don't have idea of it, or that the Biafra Defense Forces don't have idea that you are kidnapped. That is the only way they will take you to their own destination. Otherwise, we will come with a heavy, more firepower to stop them. So if you fall a victim from today, being the 10th of November 2024, if Nigeria terrorist police and army kidnap you in Biafra land and they take you to their vehicle, make sure you lie down very, very well, where your head and nothing will show. Because that kidnapping, we are ending it. Anywhere we see anybody being kidnapped, forced into any vehicle so that we enforce your disappearance, they will be ruthlessly engaged. Except there is no Biafra security there. That is the only way, only when they can succeed. But once there are security of Biafra, you are mandated to go into action immediately to rescue that Biafra. Make sure those kidnapping those Biafrans are eliminated from today. This will continue until we get to our convention, to make sure that our people are protected. The life of every Biafran is very important to the Biafra government, and we'll go to any length to protect them. We will give them the protection that Nigeria have denied them for decades. We are here with alternative to serve humanity and mankind. Thank you, Odumegwu.
Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, has sent a strong message to the Nigerian government, telling them that the time they kidnap Biafrans and enforce their disappearance is over. He advised Biafrans that are kidnapped by Nigerian terrorist group to lie down flat, because soon their rescue will come and it is going to be fire for fire. Simon Ekpa, a prominent figure advocating for the establishment of an independent Biafra, recently issued a message directed at the Nigerian government. Simon Ekpa, who holds the title of the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, strongly condemned the reported killings, kidnappings, and enforced disappearance of Biafrans by Nigerian authorities and security forces. He described the alleged act as intolerable and promised a forceful response. In his address, Simon Ekpa advised Biafrans who might find themselves detained by Nigerian security forces to lie flat in any vehicles used to transport them, as a means of potentially aiding in their eventual rescue. He emphasized the readiness of Biafran security forces to intervene, claiming they would bring firepower to counter any adoptions attempts. Simon Ekpa's statement also reiterated the commitment of the Biafra Republic government in exile to safeguard Biafran lives, framing the struggle as a defense against long-standing oppression. His rhetoric reflects the tension between Biafran separatist movement and the Nigerian authorities, with his message signaling a call for increased self-defense and vigilance among Biafrans. In Nigeria's southeastern region, a group of people known as Biafrans has long felt separate from the Nigerian state. This isn't a recent feeling. It goes back to the 1960s, to a time when they even tried to form their own independent country, Biafra. The result was a civil war, a brutal conflict that left millions dead, mostly due to starvation and malnutrition. But even though the Biafrans lost that war and remained part of Nigeria, many of them have never let go of the dream of independence. They feel their language, culture, and heritage make them unique, and they often feel neglected or marginalized by the Nigerian government. Now, let's fast forward to the present. Decades have passed since the Civil War, but tensions are still high. Biafrans feel like second-class citizens in Nigeria. They see less investment in their region, fewer job opportunities, and limited development. Over time, movements for Biafran independence have re-emerged, sometimes with a stronger voice, sometimes with a quieter one, but the spirit has stayed alive. Enter Simon Ekpa, a passionate and outspoken man. Simon Ekpa is one of the most prominent voices for Biafra in today's world. He is often called the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, a title he carries with pride. He represents a government that isn't recognized by Nigeria, but it claims to fight for the rights and independence of the Biafran people. In recent times, Simon Ekpa has taken to social media and other platforms to share his view on Biafra's struggle for independence. And lately, he has been very vocal about what he describes as kidnappings and enforced disappearances of Biafrans by Nigerian forces. According to Simon Ekpa, the Nigerian government has been using these tactics to silence and intimidate Biafrans who support the independent movement. This brings us to his latest message, a bold and emotional speech aimed directly at the Nigerian government and his fellow Biafrans. Simon Ekpa's message has stirred up conversations, raising questions about safety, loyalty, and the fight for Biafran independence. He paints a powerful picture, urging his people to stay strong while warning the Nigerian authority that their days of abducting Biafrans without consequences are coming to an end. He starts off with a strong warning to the Nigerian government. The time you kidnap Biafrans and enforce their disappearance is over. Right from the beginning, he's making his stance clear. He's telling the government that the way they have treated Biafrans up until now won't be tolerated anymore. Simon Ekpa is drawing a line in the sand. He goes on to address the Biafran people, particularly those who might be targeted by these alleged kidnappings. He speaks to them directly, giving them advice that seems strange. At first, he said, "If you are taken, do not struggle. Lie down on the floor of the vehicle." He's urging his people not to resist if they find themselves being abducted. It is almost like he's preparing them for the worst while offering hope. Why does he ask them to do this? He believes that rescue is coming. Simon Ekpa wants them to believe that they won't be left to suffer alone. He wants them to know that if the Biafran Defense Force find out about their capture, they will come for them, and it is going to be fire for fire. In his mind, his forces will respond with equal or greater force, showing the kidnappers that Biafrans are no longer helpless or alone. The phrase fire for fire stands out. Simon Ekpa is clearly using strong language to convey his commitment. It is like he's saying, if you bring violence, we will respond with violence. To Simon Ekpa, this isn't about playing defense anymore. It is about standing up and showing that the Biafrans won't be bullied again. But Simon Ekpa knows that his forces can't be everywhere at once. He admits they might not be able to rescue everyone. He says, "We may not be able to rescue everyone, but if you happen to be a victim, all you need to do is lie on the floor." It is a bittersweet admission. He wants to save everyone, but he's realistic enough to know that some people might still fall through the cracks. Still, the promise of a rescued mission of armed forces coming to free Biafrans from the grips of those he calls Nigeria terrorists is a powerful message. He's letting both the government and the Biafran people know that there is now a defense network in place, one that will spring into action whenever they learn about a kidnapping. According to Simon Ekpa, anywhere we see anybody being kidnapped, they will be ruthlessly engaged. There is a determination in his words, a promise that kidnappers will face consequences if they are caught. In his speech, Simon Ekpa also gives instructions to the Biafran Defense Forces. He tells them that if they come across a situation where a Biafran is being taken, they must act immediately. Make sure those kidnapping Biafrans are eliminated, he says. It is a straightforward, no compromise order. He's telling his people to defend Biafrans at all costs, without hesitation. This part of the speech is almost like a pep talk to the defense forces, inspiring them to be vigilant, brave, and willing to take action. Simon Ekpa wants them to believe that they are not just fighting for independence, they are protecting their people, defending their lives and their rights. Simon Ekpa goes on to say that the life of every Biafran is precious to the Biafran government in exile. He makes it clear that this government will go to any length to protect Biafrans, providing them with the safety and security that he claims Nigeria has failed to deliver. To Simon Ekpa, the Nigerian state has neglected its responsibility to the southeastern region for too long, leaving its people vulnerable and unprotected. Simon Ekpa's message carries a sense of duty and responsibility. He wants the Biafran people to know that they aren't alone and that his government is watching over them, ready to step in when needed, by saying, "We are here with an alternative to serve humanity and mankind." He's positioning his government as a force for good, a body that prioritizes human rights and dignity, even if it is unrecognized by the Nigerian government. In his closing remarks, Simon Ekpa ends on a powerful note. His last words are a mix of defiance, hope, and confidence. Thank you. It is as if he's saying, thank you for listening, thank you for believing, and thank you for standing with us in this fight. Simon Ekpa's statement has set the stage for a tense and uncertain future. For the Nigerian government, it is a clear warning. Simon Ekpa's words make it obvious that the Biafran movement isn't backing down. If anything, it is becoming more resolute. The call for fire suggests that Simon Ekpa is ready to escalate the situation if the Nigerian government doesn't change its approach. For Biafrans, Simon Ekpa's message could be a source of hope. To those who feel neglected or oppressed, his words might serve as reassurance, a promise of protection and strength for those who feel like they have been pushed aside or mistreated. Simon Ekpa's speech is a reminder that they have allies, that they aren't alone. Of course, not everyone may agree with Simon Ekpa's stance. Some might worry that his words could lead to more violence or tension. Others might feel that his approach is too confrontational, that it could backfire or lead to greater suffering for the Biafran people. But for Simon Ekpa, this isn't just a political struggle, it is a personal mission. He sees himself as a defender of Biafran rights, a leader who is willing to stand up to the Nigerian government no matter the cost. Simon Ekpa's speech is part of a larger story, one that goes back decades and continues to affect the lives of millions. Nigeria is a diverse country with many ethnic groups, languages, and cultures. Biafra is just one part of this complex puzzle, but it is a piece that has never quite fit in. The Nigerian government faces a tough challenge. They want to maintain unity and prevent regions from breaking away, but at the same time, they have to address the grievances of groups like the Biafrans. It is a delicate balance, one that requires careful negotiation, respect, and understanding. For some Biafrans, independence is the only solution, while others believe in reform and equal treatment within Nigeria. The future of Nigeria and Biafra remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: voices like Simon Ekpa's won't be silenced easily. His message is a reminder that the struggle for independence is alive, that the dream of Biafra hasn't faded, and that many Biafrans are still willing to fight for it, even if it means standing up to one of the most powerful and dangerous governments in Africa. So where does this leave us? Simon Ekpa's message may be the beginning of a new chapter in the Biafran struggle. It is a call to action, a plea for solidarity, and a promise of protection. But it is also a reminder of the challenges that lie ahead, the sacrifices that may be required, and the risks that come with standing up for a cause as complex and charged as Biafra's independence. Only time will tell what impact Simon Ekpa's words will have. But one thing is certain: the story of Nigeria and Biafra is far from over.
The time you kidnap Biafrans and enforce their disappearance is over. And of course, Biafrans that are going to be victims of this kidnapping by the Nigeria state, all you need to do is to lie on the floor of whichever or whatever vehicles that they are using to transport you. We may not be able to rescue everyone, but if you happen to be a victim of the Nigeria kidnapping terrorist group and those enforcing the disappearances of our people, if you are part or become a victim of this kidnapping, all you need to do not struggle with them. You do not have what it takes to defend yourself. All you need to do is, when they take you to their vehicle, make sure you lie down very well, because you don't know when the people that will rescue you will come. The only reason you are going to be succeeded in kidnapping, or they succeed in kidnapping you, is that we don't have idea of it, or that the Biafra Defense Forces don't have idea that you are kidnapped. That is the only way they will take you to their own destination. Otherwise, we will come with a heavy, more firepower to stop them. So if you fall a victim from today, being the 10th of November 2024, if Nigeria terrorist police and army kidnap you in Biafra land and they take you to their vehicle, make sure you lie down very, very well, wear your head and nothing will show. Because that kidnapping, we are ending it. Anywhere we see anybody being kidnapped, forced into any vehicle so that we enforce your disappearance, they will be ruthlessly engaged. Except there is no Biafra security there. That is the only way, only when they can succeed. But once there are security of Biafra, you are mandated to go into action immediately to rescue that Biafra. Make sure those kidnapping those Biafrans are eliminated. From today, this will continue until we get to our convention to make sure that our people are protected. The life of every Biafran is very important to the Biafra government, and we'll go to any length to protect them. We will give them the protection that Nigeria have denied them for decades. We are here with alternative to serve humanity and mankind. Thank you, Odumegwu. Odumegwu state the people go mong. Magani haine ihe mmụọ.
Yes, sir.
Nigeria ekotogi ha na-akpa eji achị. Odumegwu state wee kpọrọ m mkpọ na ana. Odumegwu state wee kpọrọ m mkpọ na ana.
Yes.
Aga m eme nke emegbo na mbụ. Wee gwa ha na emere m nkwado wee pụta ije a.
Otu aka ọ dị.
Esiri nwoke n'ite.
Otu aka ọ dị.
Anọrọ m na anabụgo nke njin ọha n'Igbo. Mana emere m nkwado. Ekpa Nigeria sị ha. Unu je bupute the best unu.
Odogwu adịgo ka o si adị. Ọmọ na-ekpa.
Maka nke m mepere unu afụ. The one I didn't show you will not see. Odumegwu akpọtego mmụọ today.
Yes.
Odumegwu butere mmụọ.
Yes.
Otu eme gịnị unu afụ.
Ọ dị ka send the something to eji wee mee welcome.
Admin of Odumegwu. Ọ nnekwu mmadụ ka ebo. Nnekwu mmadụ ka ebu iprove go that na n'iselu ihe eji aga ije.
O metụrụ ofu ụbọchị onye na-eti ya.
Wee sị gị that na ebupụtara m nke ka ibobo. Biafra bụ obodo nsọ. Biafra bụ ana nsọ.
Yes.
Maka anyị malụ ihe Chineke kere n'ala Biafra.
Yes.
Onye Trump melụ chief of staff.
Asị na dike nwa eze anaghị akwa na mba.
Otu aka ọ dị.
Otu aka ọ dị. The Dragon Master.
Maka na unu afụnube m ụdị a before.
Atọ. Yes.
N'aka ndị lobbyist.
Ịkwadoro akwado.
Unu kpọtara mmụọ.
Yes.
Ihe m ga-agwa unu taa bụ na struggle a echenjigo from this moment. Because of this single display, aga m eme ihe nchọburu ime in 2 months to come. Ọ ga-ekwu ime ozugbo. Mark my word. Agwa m unu na Nigeria edego ihe niile ha ga-ede. Send ya niile ha ga-esend na Finland. Simon Ekpa nka na-awọm up na-eme press up maka ihe ga-eme after December. Mana ọ ga-ebido mebe n'oge maka na anyị ga-eji ehihie chọwa ewu ojii tupu chejie. The Biafra land will never allow the enemies of our people, our culture, our belief and way of life to live the next minute. The earlier they pack their bag and baggages and leave our land for the defense of our women and children, the better for them. Nigeria, ihe anyị na-eme na convention bụ ka anyị generate a legal document. Anyị ga-ejizi wee gwazie mba ụwa niile orugokwa mgbunu ga-reorganize Biafra. Maka na ihe a na-eme before up to this today is only awareness. That now we are not wanted in Nigeria.
Yes.
It is only awareness that Nigeria was not created to favor every indigenous person within that Niger area. And so it is for the best interest of everybody that we go our separate ways to develop ourselves in the best way possible. So we can value and recognize our culture, our differences, and develop our land ourselves and compete among nations. Where criminals and fraudsters will not be vying into positions with the money they stole from America. That is what we are fighting for.
Yes.
All of you remember those who promised to bring 25 Hilos cars to kill our people in Biafra land. They are all involved in the internet scam.
Yeah.
Those who was bragging how they will bring the Hilos from Abuja to stop us, they are all involved. The local government chairman that was arrested by the FBI on multi-million-dollar fraud, they are all together. They are the people bragging how they are going to bring Hilos to kill our people in Anambra. Today, where are they? Agwa munu na nke mmeru joyi mmekwa ọzọ. Eji ọma anya ọma wee pụta Biafra. Ebu m ike wee bịa ọgụ a. And no more ga end this fight. We are going to have to our next generation. Onye ọbụla ga-afụ ya n'anya. Onye si na ya ga ha nọ ndụ wee bịa ya kwado dịkwa weel ya. Maka anyị ejide ha ga na-ejide gị. Ọdụmegwu unu kpọlitere dike today. Ndewo. Cha ọdụmegwu kwenu.
Yes!
Ọdụmegwu kwenu.
Yes!
Biafra kwezuonu.
This is the end of our news updates. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.